Motorsports Engine Show right here at the South Spanish Bull Ring, Sonora Raceway. Hey, it's the Motorsports Engine Show right here at the old Tin Roof Alliance Studio. A night shoot tonight, as you can see. Not only is Gumbo Joe cool tonight, he's wearing it and rocking it tonight, but Preston Perez showed up and hung out with us a little bit at Monster Mania 2020 over at Sonora Raceway. Had a lot to say, pretty inspirational. I'm going to tell you something. If you're out there and you've gone through anything and you always wished you could do something in life, listen to this interview with Preston Perez driving the cool bus that night. Wheelies and everything going on. So coming to you live right now on the Motorsports Engine Show, it's Preston Perez with the cool bus. It's the Motorsports Engine Show right here at Monster Mania 2020 at the South Spanish Bull Ring. And you've heard it before, Sonora Raceway. Got Preston Perez, been around the block or two for a minute with monster trucks. He's here with us. How you doing, Preston?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Real good. So all the way from Spokane, Washington to South Atlanta, Georgia, 96 degrees heat down here. How you handling it?
It's pretty hot, but I'm used to this weather. I've done a lot of monster truck shows out in the heat, so I've been up to California and all that, and it gets way hot up there, so it's not too bad out here.
Yeah, tell our fans and your fans, too, a little bit about your history, what you've done with monster trucks and all, and we'll lead into some questions in a second.
Basically, I started as a fan, just like anybody else. I was a super fan, though. I had all the toys.
Were you the kid with the monster truck?
I had
and
all the toys.
Okay.
I went as far as to when I built the tracks, I would get like chalk and make the chalk line, paint out the tracks and all that. I'd make my parents judge my freestyles and all that when I was. And
love it.
Yeah, and I was a super fan to the extent that basically I knew like. If somebody drove a truck one time in 2005 or whatever, like I knew, like some people know the stats of football. So I went to a show in 2012, I believe, and I went to my first pit party, and I asked the announcer down there for one of the autographs as one of the pit crew, and he was all surprised that I knew who it was, and then he let me judge the competition, and I think I was just like...
I love it.
I think I was like 10 years old and all that, and he let me sit in some trucks, and the announcer turned out he lived in Spokane also, so he just started bringing me behind the scenes and all that. That's kind of how I got my start.
Yeah. So you've driven for drop a few names on the people you've driven for.
Well, I've driven 11 different names. I've driven for Jimmy Cretin, the Scarlet Bandit up in Canada. I've driven Tantrum, El Matador. I've driven obviously Higher Education, Iron Warrior, Black Stallion. Spitfire. I drove a truck called Spitfire for Bill Payne. There's a couple others in there. Nitro Hornet. So, that's a good list. I might be missing one or two. But.
Well, I can tell you from the fan response on Higher Education, especially the kids, they loved what was going on last night with that particular bus, I'm going to say, but it's a truck. Is it any different driving the Higher Education than it is a standard body?
Yeah, sometimes I actually... I have a hard time seeing out of it, especially the start line, because as soon as I hit the brakes and stage for racing, the roof, I can't see through the top of the roof, and that's about where the start line is, or for the starting light, so I have to wait for the other guy to go half the time, so it's a little bit of a disadvantage, but the truck's really not different. It's the same chassis design as all the other trucks. It's just the body comes way out forward, so it's odd to see out of, but it works all the same.
Well, definitely a fan favorite, and the kids, I heard the kids up here going, Mom, Dad, get one of those for us to go to school with and all like that, so that's cool. And I'll throw you a zinger a little bit. Kind of think of you guys kind of as cartoon characters. You got your own trucks, you got your own toys. You played with them, matter of fact, back in the day and all. I think of you kind of as a superhero. If you're a superhero, what's your superpower, Preston?
Heck, if I had a superpower, then I'd make it to where if anything broke on my truck, I could just whoosh my hand and then it automatically fix itself.
Yeah, for those of you out there, when they break, they work on them, by the fact. They know about them and they work on them. And we were told you guys were up pretty late last night kind of fixing some things and wrenching a little bit and stuff. Like, it's all part of the deal, though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Lost a motor in one of our trucks last night, but it's all ready to go for tonight. Going to do an awesome job today. We were up till like 2:30 this morning, and then we just got done about 2.5 hours ago. So, but we're ready to go. We're all cleaned up. Trucks are all ready. And it's going to be a good one tonight.
Well, on the Motorsports Engine Show, we have 2 segments. The first segment we do is always called High Speed Thrills. Fits you guys perfectly. Everywhere you go, it's always high speed thrills. I don't know, 20 feet sometimes you get up in the air there. What does it mean to you from going from the kid that was playing to being able to drive? What does it do for you personally?
Oh, this is a lifetime dream. There's nothing else that I've ever wanted to do. I mean, it's amazing. It's all worth it, all the work that goes into it for that 5 minutes of glory, I guess you could say, because the run time at the end of a show, we're only doing about probably 5 minutes if you're lucky. Yeah. I mean, it's all worth it. It's an unexplainable feeling, but what I can say is, like, when I first drove, word of advice I got from Charlie Pauken, he's a known gravedigger driver. He told me whatever it feels like you're doing, you're not actually doing. So like if you're 3 feet in the air, you're going to feel like you're 20 feet in the air. So that is what I've had to adapt to since the beginning. So that's definitely something that I can describe as to somebody that's never driven. It's definitely a different perspective. You don't feel like you're doing as much as you are.
It's interesting. Do you always realize you've got 1,500 horsepower under you? Does it always feel like it?
Yeah, it's always.
Is the loud pedal really cool still when you get to hit it?
Yeah, even when you're going slow, it feels like you're going 90, and then when you're actually going really fast, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and I would imagine spinning a school bus, you got to go back to your school days and thinking, man, why didn't my school bus driver do this?
Yeah, well, all my teachers laughed, said that I should get a higher education, basically, and a better education instead of chasing this, but I was like, all right, well, here you go.
Absolutely, that's cool. So we're going to switch up a little bit to the personal side. By the way, let me think about this too. This is a question from our producer over here. If you had a theme song for your life, what would it be?
Heck, for my life, I'm not too sure. For the school bus, we actually play Hot for Teacher by Van Halen.
Hot for Teacher.
We play that a lot, but heck, I don't. Whatever song is chaos and madness, I guess, would be my life.
I love it. There you go, Producer X. You got your question in there from Preston. Going to more of the personal side of things, and it's opportunity, Preston, here, and our show's unique in this way, that when we talk about finishing a winner, and you're still a young guy, and you're pursuing your dream and stuff, but what does it mean for you personally, and also with your family? You could tell the folks a little bit about your family and the personal side, and I know you guys got routines that you go through before you get in the truck. I know that team does over there too. Mm-hmm. Talk a little more personally to your fans and our fans out there, what it's like in your own life, your family life, everything that goes on in between that 5 minutes.
Oh, heck. Well, my family life and all that, I can say to chase this dream and everything I've done to it, there's a lot of sacrifices. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people ask how you can get into this industry. And, I mean, if you really think about it, it's not that hard because Monster Trucks, luckily, is one of the most fan-oriented businesses out there. Like, you can meet the superstars. And just like today, you can come and meet the drivers and sign, get autographs, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I just volunteered my time. But what I did, what a lot of people aren't willing to do, is like I was willing to relocate. Like I lived in Arizona. I lived in for a long time. I lived in my boss Mike Vaughters' basement just to come. I literally was in Washington State and I just called and I was like, hey, can I come work for you? You need any help? And I had met him one other time, but I just kept pestering. And it was like
squeaky wheel works everywhere.
It's like you gotta. I mean, if you don't leave basically and you keep pushing at it, one day somebody's gonna let you do something, whether it's sweep their garage or whatever. And I mean, I just kept pushing farther and farther and farther, and then like it came to the point where it's like, wow, this was kids literally moving across the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this is what you truly want to do, that's what it takes. And unfortunately, like, I've had to leave my mom on the other side of the country, my grandmother, and all that. And she has stage 4 and everything. And I practically lived with her growing up, her and my mom. So, like, that can be hard. But I mean, it's all worth it at the end of the day to come out and do this, and they're proud of me, and they know it because I mean they were there when I was a little kid doing this. Right. So it's not for nothing by any means, and every win is a big win for me, whether it's a big televised Monster Jam show or whether it's here last night. You know what I mean? No win is lesser than another.
I love that
because I mean I literally. This is what I've always wanted to do. So if I'm not winning and I'm not doing a good job and making people happy, you know, then what was it worth? So as long as I'm happy and everybody else is happy, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, well, bless your family too. In the stage 4 thing, it's tough. It's tough. I know you check in with them and making sure everything is good, especially during these weird times. It's tough enough fighting cancer, but it's even weirder fighting cancer in these strange days, you know, as well too. On that note too, as we get ready to close out here, I always give an opportunity at the end of the show for you to speak to the fans and our fans out there. If you got something on your heart and you want to say, go ahead and say it, man. If you got something that's on you right now, or if you got something you really have been wanting to tell a bunch of people, there's your chance right now, Preston.
I mean, kind of what I was just saying, like, I mean, it's not easy to get in this. It's rough. But, you know, if you really want something, anything in life, whether it's a doctor, dentist, monster truck driver, astronaut, you know what I mean? Like, don't let anybody tell you you can't. And I know it sounds cliche. That's what I always used to think. But it really is true.
I love that.
I mean, it's just it doesn't come as easy as it's put out there to be. You really got to work hard and really hard. And sometimes when you're already doing what you love to do, the work doesn't stop. Sometimes it feels harder when you're actually in it than it was when you were trying to get to it, and that's what a lot of people don't realize when they watch movies and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, I'm there, and these people work hard and they get their dream. But like, I mean, just last night was one of the hardest weekends I've had. You know what I mean? But like, you know, it's like I said, it's worth it. It's great. And I just want people to know that if I have a legacy to live up to, I just want to be that guy that started from nothing and made it somewhere so I could show everybody else that whether you have nothing, then you can go wherever you want to go.
That's a strong, strong word out there. Once again, right here at Sonora Raceway, it's Preston Perez driving the higher education. You heard it. He got the higher education that his teachers said he probably would never have. Right here at the South Spanish Bull Ring. Thanks, Preston, for coming in, checking in with us, and we'll catch you on the rebound.
All right, thanks.
All right. Hey, thanks so much for checking out our show tonight. As always, we appreciate our fans in the Motorsports Engine Show, and I know Gumbo. Whew, Gumbo. You would not think somebody this bony would have that much gas. Gumbo. Well, anyhow. We appreciate you checking everything out. Also, too, Producer X has went to great lengths to put together a YouTube channel for you guys. All the episodes there and all. Get a chance, go check out the Motorsports Engine on YouTube. Subscribe, ring that bell if you can. And who knows? I know Producer X has been working on some prizes and all. Who knows? You may be the next winner on the Motorsports Engine Show. And especially being a winner, remember this too. If you feel a little risky today, as we always say, get on up there and run that cush a little bit, or you feel a little safer. I know Joe's feeling a little safer today. Get down there, catfish a little bit. You know, you can still get your way around that 3/8 mile Gumbo Clay. But always remember this. We're always available on social media, on the Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as we always say, it's always tough to run without the engine. Until next week.